Hello, precious soul. I speak today to you, the one who carries on your shoulders an invisible yet unbearable weight. A weight not of another's offense, nor the burden of the world's sorrows, but the heaviness of your own past. I am speaking to you who has long ago forgiven everyone, except for one person, yourself. Within each of us who has made a mistake and been unable to let it go, there exists a secret, sacred, and simultaneously terrible place. It is the inner courtroom, a courtroom that is never empty. Its sessions are held day and night, without recess or reprieve. And in this courtroom, you play all the parts at once. Behold, in the prosecutor's place, it is you. This prosecutor is tireless. He knows every detail of your crime better than anyone. He holds in memory every word, every action, every decision made or not made. Over and over, he replays the recording of that very moment, showing it from different angles, finding new evidence of your guilt. His voice is that inner critic that whispers to you in moments of silence. How could you? You should have known better. You ruined everything. This is unforgivable. He does not seek justice. He seeks condemnation, and he always finds it. And in the defendant's box, it is also you, but not the you of today. It is your past self, an image frozen in time of the person you were on that very day. He sits there, small, frightened, ashamed. He can say nothing in his own defense, for the prosecutor has already twisted all his motives. He is forever locked in that moment of shame and regret, forced to listen to the accusations again and again, with no right to speak. And on the judge's bench, robed and with a gavel in hand, it is you again, your conscious self. You listen to the irrefutable arguments of your inner prosecutor. You look upon the pitiful figure of your past self, and every time, every single day, you deliver the same verdict: guilty. And what is the punishment? It is not a one-time penance. The punishment is a life sentence, a lifelong obligation to carry this shame, to not allow yourself to be truly happy, because happiness is for those who deserve it, to sabotage your own successes, because deep down, you believe you are unworthy, to push away love because you are certain that if people knew of your crime, they would turn away. The punishment is the constant low hum of guilt that poisons the taste of your food, dulls the sound of laughter, and casts a shadow over the sunniest day. This inner courtroom consumes a colossal amount of your life energy. All the strength that could go toward creativity, toward love, toward joy, toward serving the world. All of it is diverted to maintain the workings of this prison. You are both the warden and the prisoner. And I am here today to tell you one simple yet vital truth. This court is illegitimate. This verdict has no power. The voice of your inner prosecutor is not the voice of God, not the voice of the universe, and not the voice of truth. It is merely the voice of your own fear and your own pain, which you have mistaken for ultimate justice. I see your weariness from this endless trial. I see the heaviness of the sentence you carry. And we have gathered here today not to ask for a lesser sentence. We have gathered to announce that this court is adjourned forever, that the prosecutor has been silenced and the judge has relinquished his post. But before we can open the cell door and release our inner prisoner to freedom, we must do something very important. We must look anew at the crime itself. We must take the case file from the hands of the prosecution and place it into the hands of mercy and wisdom. We must understand the true purpose of your fall. We left our inner prisoner in his cell and the case file of his crime on the table. The prosecutor has fallen silent, and now we can look upon this case not with the coldness of judgment, but with the warm curiosity of wisdom. We are accustomed to thinking of our mistake as a dirty, ugly stain on the pure white fabric of our lives, as a brand of shame. But what if it isn't that at all? What if your mistake was not a curse, but a gift in disguise. Imagine your life as a long, unending ascent up a great staircase. This staircase leads upward toward the light, toward wisdom, toward the best version of yourself. Every day is a new step. Every choice is a step up. You walk, sometimes confidently, sometimes warily, but you continue your climb. And then one day, perhaps in a hurry, or in darkness, or from inattention, your foot lands on a broken step. In an instant, your support vanishes. You stumble, lose your balance, and fall in pain, tumbling down several flights. You sit there on the cold steps, stunned, with bruised knees and a wounded pride, and all you can see are the fragments of that step, the sharp, ugly edges of your failure. This is precisely where the work of the inner prosecutor begins. He sits down beside you and whispers, "Look what you've done. You broke the staircase. You are not fit for this journey. This broken step is now your eternal reminder of failure. You must sit here and stare at it forever, so you never forget your shame." And many of us believe this voice. We remain seated on that step or near it. Our entire life, our entire future path is now defined by this single moment of falling. We refuse to look up at the thousands of whole and sturdy steps that are yet to be climbed. Our gaze is fixated on one single fragment. This is the state of non-forgiveness. But today I ask you to look at this broken step with different eyes, not the eyes of a judge, but of a healer, and to ask, what is the true purpose of a broken step? Yes, it caused pain. Yes, it slowed your journey. But what did it give you? First, it gave you the gift of mindfulness. Before you fell, perhaps you were running up the stairs without looking, taking their strength for granted. The fall forced you to stop. It forced you to look at each subsequent step with respect and awareness. Your mistake destroyed your dangerous self-assurance and replaced it with wise caution. You became a more awakened traveler. Second, it gave you the gift of strength. To get up after a fall, to endure the pain, and to begin the ascent again requires far more courage and strength than simply walking on whole steps. The very act of pushing yourself back up, of deciding not to stay down, strengthened your spiritual muscles in a way that hundreds of easy steps never could. A healed wound always leaves a scar, and that place becomes stronger than it was before. Your resilience was born not in spite of the fall, but because of it. Third, it gave you the gift of humility. The fall shattered your pride to pieces. The illusion that you were invulnerable, that you were better than others, that you would never make a mistake. And this shattered pride opened a space in your heart for true wisdom. For only a humble person is capable of learning. Only one who knows what it's like to be at the bottom can appreciate the top with genuine gratitude. And finally, the most precious gift. The broken step gave you the gift of compassion. Now, as you continue your journey upward, you look at other travelers differently. When you see someone else stumble and fall on their broken step, what do you feel? No longer judgment, not a smug, "you should have watched where you were going," but an instant, piercing recognition. Your heart responds with a quiet, "I know that pain. I have been there." And you extend a hand to help, not from the height of your perfection, but from the depth of your own imperfect experience. Your wound becomes a bridge to another's heart. Your mistake becomes a source of healing for others. You are no longer just a traveler, you become a guide. So what then was your mistake, really? Was it a mark of shame? Or was it a harsh but great teacher? Was it the end of your journey or a painful but necessary initiation into a deeper, wiser, and more compassionate life? Your mistake is not something to be hidden. It is your sacred wound. It is the place where the light entered your soul. And now that we understand that the crime was in fact a lesson, the next question arises. Is not the one who is learning worthy of mercy? Does not a traveler with a wound deserve compassion, first and foremost, from himself? We left the traveler on the staircase, having realized that his mistake was not a mark of shame, but a sacred wound, a source of wisdom and compassion. And we ask the question, is not the one who is learning worthy of mercy from himself? And it is here, in response to this question, that the heart often erects its highest and most impenetrable wall. The inner prosecutor, whom we thought we had silenced, rises for his final, most crucial objection. He says, compassion perhaps, but forgiveness must be earned, and I have not earned it. This idea that forgiveness must be earned is deeply embedded within us. We live in a world where everything has a price. We work to earn money. We train to earn strength. We act well to earn respect. And so it seems perfectly logical to us that, having done something wrong, we must earn forgiveness through long and painful punishment. The punishment of self-flagellation. And until we have suffered enough, we have no right to be set free. But today I want to speak to you of another law, one that is higher than all human laws, the law of divine grace. Grace, by its very definition, is a gift that cannot be earned. If it could be earned, it would not be grace, but a wage. It would be a fair exchange. But forgiveness, true forgiveness, is not a transaction. It is a miracle. It is an act of love that cancels the logic of guilt and punishment. We offer this grace so easily to others. Think of a small child learning to walk. He takes a few uncertain steps, wobbles, loses his balance, and in falling, accidentally knocks over and breaks your favorite vase. What do you do in that moment? Do you scream at him, "You are a vase breaker! I brand you with this shame for life. You will never atone for your guilt"? Of course not. You rush to him, pick him up, hug him, and comfort his tears. You say, "It's okay, my dear. You didn't mean to. You're just learning to walk." In that moment, you perform an act of great wisdom. You intuitively separate the child's identity from his action. You know that his essence is not that he broke a vase. His essence is that he is a beautiful, innocent child who is learning. The act was a mistake, but the child's identity remains flawless and worthy of love. So why, oh why, do we refuse to show the same divine wisdom to ourselves? Why do we look at the person we were in the past, the one who stumbled, who made the mistake, and deny him the compassion we would so easily give to any child? The person you were then, he too was learning. He was learning to walk the complex, tangled road of life. He acted based on the level of understanding, the pain, the fear, and the knowledge that he had at that moment. To judge him with the wisdom you have today is as unjust as demanding a 1-year-old to run a marathon. Your past self deserves not condemnation, but compassion. He deserves to be hugged and told, "I understand. You did the best you could at the time. You were just learning." Your worth as a person is not defined by your actions. Your actions are what you did. Your worth is who you are. And you, at your very core, are a spark of the divine light, a child of the universe. Your true nature is love, peace, and light. Mistakes are merely mud that has clung to the beautiful diamond of your soul. The mud can temporarily obscure its radiance, but it cannot change the nature of the diamond itself. You are the diamond, not the mud. Self-forgiveness is the act of cleaning that diamond. It does not mean pretending the mud was never there. It means remembering that you are something so much greater than that mud. To forgive yourself does not mean to say, "What I did was okay." It means to say, "What I did was a mistake, born of pain or ignorance. But that mistake does not define my essence. I refuse to let it hold my present and my future hostage." Forgiveness is not for the person you were in the past. He can no longer receive it. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself today. It is the decision to stop drinking poison in the hope that it will punish your past. It is the decision to cancel the debt of suffering that you think you still owe. That debt has been paid. It was paid in the very moment you realized your mistake and felt remorse. Any further punishment is meaningless. You are worthy of forgiveness not because you have been perfect. You are worthy of forgiveness because you are human. And to be human is to learn, to grow, and to make mistakes. It is woven into our very nature. But grace, like any gift, is useless until it is accepted. It is not enough to simply understand with our minds that we are worthy of forgiveness. We must perform the act of accepting it. We must go through a ritual of release that will carry this decision from our intellect to the very depths of our heart. We have understood that we are worthy of grace, but this gift is useless until it is accepted. Understanding is merely the map. We must now make the journey itself. So I invite you now not just to think about forgiveness, but to live it, to perform it as a sacred ritual in the temple of your soul. If you are ready and in a place where you will not be disturbed, I invite you to close your eyes. If not, simply follow my words in your heart. Take a deep, calm breath and a slow, releasing exhale. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Allow your body to relax. Feel the support beneath you. You are safe. You are in a sacred moment. And now I will ask you to imagine a quiet, safe place within yourself. Perhaps it is a room with a comfortable chair and a warm fireplace, or a sun-drenched meadow in a forest, or the shore of a calm, serene lake. This is your inner sanctuary, a place where no judgment, no criticism, no fear can enter. Linger in this place for a moment. Feel its peace. And now into this safe space, I will ask you to invite a guest. Allow the image of your past self to appear before you, the very one you have held prisoner for so long, the one who made the mistake you regret. Look at him or her closely. How old are they in this memory? What are they wearing? What is the expression on their face? Perhaps it is a mask of bravado, hiding fear. Perhaps it is confusion or pain. Do not judge them. Simply see them. Your first instinct might be to become the prosecutor again, to start listing the charges once more. Notice this urge, but do not follow it. Instead, take another deep breath, and with the exhale, release the accusations. You are not here today for a trial. You are here for healing. Look at this person, at this younger, less wise, perhaps more frightened version of yourself, and try to see them with the eyes of compassion. Try to understand why they did what they did. What fear were they acting from? What pain were they trying to escape? What knowledge or wisdom did they lack at the time? You, from the vantage point of your present-day experience, know so much more than they did. They were doing the best they could with the tools they had at that moment. They were just learning to walk this complex staircase of life. Now mentally take a step toward them. They may be frightened, expecting yet another condemnation, but you look at them with kindness, and you say to them, either aloud or in your heart, the words they have been so desperate to hear all these years. Say to them, I see you. I see your pain and your fear. I understand why you did what you did. You have carried this burden of guilt for too long. You have been in this prison cell long enough. Your sentence is over. Feel how these words affect them. Perhaps their shoulders relax. Perhaps tears come to their eyes. And now, the most important step. Look them directly in the eye. Place a hand on your own heart and speak the ultimate words of release. Say to them, I forgive you. I forgive you completely and unconditionally. I forgive you for not knowing then what I know now. I forgive you for your mistake. You are free. Repeat this as many times as you need until you feel something shift within you. I forgive you. This does not mean the act was right. It means you will no longer use that act as a weapon against yourself. And when you feel the forgiveness is sincere, take the final step. Mentally, open your arms and embrace this person. Hug your past self. Allow them to dissolve into your heart. They are not a stranger. They are a part of you that was wounded and lost and has finally come home. This is an act not just of forgiveness, but of integration. You are becoming whole again. Linger in this feeling of unity and peace. Notice the lightness that appears in your chest. Feel the release of tension you may have been carrying for years. A warmth spreads through your body. The energy that was used to maintain the inner tribunal is now free. This is the act of accepting grace. You did not just think about forgiveness, you performed it. You washed the mud from your diamond. You freed your prisoner. And that prisoner was you. Now slowly, very slowly, bring your attention back to the room you are in. Feel your body, your breath. When you are ready, open your eyes. You have just performed a great act of healing. Feel this new lightness. This is the beginning of your freedom. But what does it mean to live in this freedom? What does it mean to walk through the world each day without dragging the chains of the past behind you? Breathe into this new space within you, into this silence. The courtroom is empty. The prosecutor is silent. The prisoner is free. The chains you may have worn for decades have fallen to the floor and turned to dust. What is this feeling? Do you recognize it? It is the feeling of lightness. It is the feeling of peace. It is the feeling of freedom. But what do we do with this freedom now? How do we live when the most familiar feature of our inner landscape, the prison of our guilt, has vanished? The first thing to understand is this: forgiveness is not amnesia. The memory of your mistake, of your broken step, will remain. You will not forget what happened, but the very nature of that memory will have changed. Before, it was an open, festering wound. Every touch of that memory brought the sharp, piercing pain of shame and regret. Now, cleansed by your own compassion and grace, that wound begins to close. It becomes a scar. A scar does not hurt. It merely reminds you that there was a wound and that you were strong enough to heal. In time, this scar will become not an ugly mark to be hidden, but a testament to your resilience. It will become a map of your wisdom, a reminder of the depth of compassion you discovered within yourself. The memory will remain, but its emotional charge, its power over you, will be gone. You will no longer be a slave to your past. The second thing is the liberated energy. Think of how much strength it took to maintain the operations of your inner tribunal. The energy for endless accusations, the energy for self-defense and self-punishment, the energy to hide your shame from others. It was an enormous black hole in the center of your soul that consumed your light. Now, it is closed, and all of that energy is returned to you. Where will you direct it? Now you have the strength to be truly present in your life, to listen to your loved ones without being distracted by the whisper of guilt, to enjoy simple pleasures, the taste of food, the warmth of the sun, the beauty of music, without feeling that you don't deserve it. You have energy for creativity, for work, for service. You are no longer wasting your strength fighting a war with the past. You can invest it in creating your present, but be gentle with yourself. The old habit of judgment may try to return. The inner prosecutor, stripped of his power, may try to read the old charges again. Your new task is not to fight him, but to meet him with peace. When you hear that voice, simply notice it and say to it with a kind smile, "I hear you, old habit. Thank you for trying to protect me. But this case is closed. I am forgiven. I choose freedom." This is what it means to live in grace, not as a one-time act, but as a daily gentle choice in favor of self-love. And let us now seal this choice in prayer. A prayer not of petition, but of gratitude and affirmation. Oh, great source of mercy and healing, I thank you for this journey into the depths of my soul. I thank you for the courage to face my past. I thank you for the wisdom hidden in my sacred wound. Through it, I have come to know the depth of my own compassion. Through it, I have learned the kind of love that demands nothing and accepts everything. I accept your forgiveness, which has always been available to me, and I accept my own forgiveness, which I have granted myself today. I pray for the strength and grace to live in this new freedom. Help me to remember each day that I am not my mistake. Help me to be kind to myself when I stumble again, as I would be to any other learning child. Help me to carry this newfound lightness into the world. May my own example of healing become a quiet beacon for others who are still locked in their inner prisons. May my path from now on be light. May my heart be open, and may my spirit be free. Amen. This path of self-forgiveness and compassion is one we should not have to walk alone. Here in the Faith Spoken community, we walk together, supporting and inspiring one another. If this message of healing has touched you, please help it reach others. Like this video so that the light of forgiveness can dispel the darkness of shame in another soul. If you dare, share in the comments one word that describes the feeling you want to walk into your future with. Freedom, lightness, peace. Your word could become permission for someone else. And of course, subscribe to our channel to continue receiving messages that remind us of our true, divine nature. Go in peace and be kind to yourself.